it's Klaus. Hey, welcome back! And you know, it has been brought to my attention by some of you. There are those who have said in my comments and have sent me messages telling me that I have been too hard on British tanks. Gotcha! So a second here while I have a little sip of coffee here. I do not drink tea, one guy said, and I do not understand the British tanks, and I should not be so critical of things I do not understand, was the email that I received. But I'll have you know that your criticism is not taken lightly, and look at this. Here I am in my Cromwell doing the spinorama ram you with my butt maneuver so that I'm facing the next enemy. And I'll have you know that I do not think that I am too critical of the British tanks. I like my Cromwell and my Action X. That's about it. I don't really like any of the other ones. But I'll have you know that I am fair. I'm a fair person, and I try to insult and berate and make fun of everyone equally. But it has been brought to my attention that I am supposedly not being fair to the British lines in this game and talking up the Russian ones a little bit too much. And I'll have you know, the only reason I talk up the Russian ones is because they're the best ones. That's the only reason. So let's be serious here and watch a game sent in by Naden Shako, driving his Centurion MK1, the Tier 8 British medium tank, which I played, and I kind of liked. I liked it, but I didn't like it. Well, no, let's not lie. I promise you guys no bullshit. I hated the fucking thing. But I did okay in it. And why did I hate it? Well, it's got some good things going for it. It's got a good turret. At least when I played it, before the power creep in the game, it had a good turret. And then it had a shit turret for a while. Now it's been buffed again. Not stunned again. It's been buffed again. It has a good turret again. So hull down, it's got a good turret and good gun depression. That's a great combination, right? Yes, but I just found it wasn't fast enough. The body was just too big. The hull armor was just too pathetic. When I played it, it was slow. It has been buffed. I don't know. It's just not a Russian medium tank. I promise I won't do that. No, I didn't have any Russian medium tanks when I played it. I was going down the German lines. I just found it underwhelming in every way. But, to be fair, I wasn't a very good player then. And I probably poked over ridge lines with this thing and showed my hull and got tracked and got penned easily and got spotted and didn't have sixth sense and didn't relocate and got stunned again over. Well, in those days you didn't get stunned again. You got blown up again, right? Game after game. So maybe it wasn't a and now I play the Centurion Action X and I really love the thing because of the mobility and the gun and all, you know, just the whole package, even though it's the body is big and the hull is weak and it's the gun depression and the turret and the speed are all great. So maybe my perception, my memories from the past are just too critical. And we're going to watch a Naden Shako here in his Centurion 7-1. No, Centurion MK1, the Tier 8, not the Tier 9. And he is doing... Oh, he made a mistake. See, now that's probably what I would have been doing when I started the game and played these things. See, he drove up on the hill, showed his hull, and boom, boom, boom! Right? 400 or 500 HP gone. And I would be raging, oh, you stupid piece of crap. And to be fair, I didn't do it right. And maybe a lot of people don't do it right. Now, what he's going to do now, after he learned his lesson again, and he knows how to play these things, and he's still screwed up. He's just gonna peek over this ridge. So if he just barely, no, that's not it. See those shots? Did you see those 3 shots whiz by? He pulled back, or he'd be dead. Right? He has to poke over these ridges so that only his turret shows, and that's called being hull down. And yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, oh yeah, you've got good gun depression, you've got a good turret. If you're hull down, you know, it's no problem. But he's almost dead, and he knows what he's doing. It's not as easy as it seems. You have to look at because when you're zoomed in, let's wait for him to zoom in. Let's, come on, zoom in, buddy. Well, when you're not zoomed in, you don't really know if you're hull down. Look, you just see a tank there and some topography. And when you're zoomed in, you don't really know. You have to back up so that the earth, the ground there, so that your aiming circle and your dot are just barely peeking over the ground. Now he's moving up a little bit too much, actually. He's not doing it perfectly. But if you can master this technique of when you zoom in and you see the ground in front of you, your gun has to just barely make it over that. Now let's see if he zooms in. See, he's higher than he needs to be. There, you see him back, now he's backed up. Look at that, look. See, his gun is just barely over the ground. That means that that enemy, probably, if he looked this way, if he wasn't a Muppet and not paying attention, he would only see the sliver of the top of his turret. And am I doing it justice, guys, all you Brits out there? Am I explaining it right? And he has moved up and just basically stayed in this little spot. You got to pick spots that have the right undulations and right topography. And this is not the best spot, because I think when he pokes like this, he is showing his left track wheel, almost. I would almost turn my tank a little bit to the left and just barely poke. See, he's too high. Let's watch him zoom in again. Okay, there. You see that? He's just barely, that was perfect. He's just barely putting the gun barrel over the topography in front of him. So he can shoot, and when they shoot back, they do not see any of the huge, monstrously weak hull that usually accompanies these British tanks. So this is a lesson on how to play the Russian medium tanks. Okay? You didn't even scratch them. You could do everything right, and you didn't even scratch them. But it's not about scratching them, really, in a British tank. What I've learned is it's about not getting scratched yourself. Now watch, he's going to shoot this guy up the ass. We've damaged them. And he's just barely going to poke and shoot him up the ass again. Yeah, penetration. He's penetrated him up the ass, and he's going to reload, and he's going to use his accurate gun and shoot him up the ass again. Oh, that one bounced. That one bounced. The commander is so polite, you know. You always know what's going on. The enemy armor is damaged. The only thing that confuses me sometimes is when you hit someone. Oh, enemy armor is hit. Sometimes when you make a perfect shot and you do 0 damage, the commander says, nice shot. But usually he tells you exactly what's going on. And he actually took damage there. You see, he exposed his track wheel. So even not playing it perfectly, he kind of held on to his HP the whole game. And he single-handedly, I think, moved into a position to spot all the enemies and keep them occupied the whole game in one little spot, the one little spot that worked. If he deviated or moved from that spot, or this is probably another good spot he's in right here, but if he drove around anywhere else, he would have had a shit game. So he used the strength of this tank, which is the turret and the gun depression, and look at the results. Ace tanker, over 4,000 damage. He didn't get any kills, but who cares? You know, he scratched them all, and he tried not to be scratched in return, and he made over 50,000 credits. So there you go. There you go. An honest, no bullshit commentary with a British tank in it. It's situational. You gotta get. It's not like a Russian tank that can drive anywhere and dominate. You've got to pick your spots, and you got to know where to go, and how to use your gun depression and turret. And if you can figure that out, well, and not deviate, not try to do anything stupid, then gotta admit that these things are, well, they're not Russian. Come on, they're not as good as the Russian ones.